The desperate alliance. The Galactic Confederation had enjoyed 3 centuries of peace, comprising over 400 sentient species across 7 spiral arms. The Confederation represented the pinnacle of civilized cooperation. Their technological marvels enabled faster-than-light travel, instantaneous communication, and nearly limitless energy. War had become an ancient concept, studied by scholars but experienced by none. Ambassador Zella gazed through the crystalline viewport of the Confederation Council chamber. Her 4 eyes blinked in sequence as she observed the glittering capital world of harmonious unity. Like most Viridians, she possessed blue-green skin that pulsed slightly with each heartbeat, delicate tendrils that served as both sensory organs and manipulators, and an exoskeleton that shimmered under the chamber's gentle illumination. Ambassador Zella called High Counselor Dren, his voice resonating with the melodic tones characteristic of his aquatic species. The emergency session will commence momentarily. Zella turned from the viewport and moved toward the central podium. The chamber quieted as representatives from dozens of worlds took their positions. Displays activated around the chamber, showing images that made many representatives recoil or emit sounds of distress. 3 standard cycles ago, Zella began, her voice steady despite the gravity of her words. The agricultural world of Neva Prime sent this distress signal. The central holographic display showed a Nevari, his plant-like features contorted in terror. They came without warning. Black ships, hundreds of them. They're harvesting everything. The planet itself is being consumed. The defense grid did nothing. Please, we need. The transmission ended in static. 6 hours later, Zella continued, Neva Prime went silent. Our investigation vessels found this. The hologram changed to show a barren world, cracked and lifeless, its once lush forests and oceans completely gone. Similar attacks have now occurred at 7 other Confederation worlds. We have identified the aggressors as a previously unknown species we're calling the Void Harvesters. The chamber erupted in panicked voices. High Counselor Dren raised his webbed appendages for silence. What do we know about these harvesters? Have they responded to communication attempts? No, Zella replied. They appear to be a hive mind species with biotechnological ships. They consume all organic and water-based resources from planets they target. Our defensive capabilities are ineffective against them. An avian representative fluttered his wings in agitation. Where is the Confederation Defense Fleet? Surely our combined technological prowess can repel these invaders. Zella's skin darkened, a sign of distress among her people. The defense fleet engaged the harvesters at City Minor. Of the 30 ships we sent, only 2 returned. Their weapons seem specifically designed to counter our shielding technology. The harvesters are currently moving toward Luminara, our most populated outer colony. It will fall within 5 cycles unless we find a solution. The chamber fell silent as the magnitude of the threat became clear. The Confederation, for all its advancement, faced extinction. There is one possibility, Zella said quietly, though it carries significant risk. All eyes turned to her. In the restricted archives, there exists information about a quarantined world in Sector 989. The inhabitants are classified as extreme Deathworlders, evolved on a planet with conditions that would kill most sentient species instantly. You cannot be serious, gasped a silicon-based counselor. The Earth quarantine was established for good reason. Their history is one of unending warfare. They thrive on conflict. Precisely, Zella replied. What we see as a horror, they might view as an opportunity. They have developed military technology despite their relative isolation. Their ships are designed for combat, not peace missions like ours. High Counselor Dren's membranes pulsed thoughtfully. The quarantine protocols are absolute. No contact is permitted with Class 12 Deathworlds. And yet we face extinction, Zella countered. The humans of Earth evolved on a planet with crushing gravity, extreme temperature variations, constant natural disasters, and atmospheric oxygen, toxic to many of us. They can survive radiation levels that would kill any Confederation species instantly. They heal from injuries that would be fatal to us. Their bodies contain metals and can process toxins. They are, by our standards, nearly indestructible. The council chamber remained silent for several moments. I propose a temporary suspension of the quarantine, Zella continued. I will travel to Earth and request their assistance against the Void Harvesters. After heated debate, the council narrowly approved Zella's proposal. 3 cycles later, her diplomatic vessel dropped out of FTL on the edge of the Sol system. Unidentified vessel. This is Earth Defense Command, came a transmission. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourself immediately. Zella activated the communication display, revealing a human female with dark skin and close-cropped hair adorned with military insignia. The woman's eyes widened slightly at the sight of Zella. I am Ambassador Zella of the Galactic Confederation. I come with an urgent request for your world's leadership. After tense negotiations and security protocols, Zella found herself in a chamber called the Pentagon, facing the United Earth Defense Council. The room felt oppressively heavy due to Earth's gravity, and the oxygen-rich air burned her respiratory membranes. How did humans evolve in such conditions? Admiral Helena Chen, commander of Earth's Space Forces, studied the holographic images of the devastated Confederation worlds. You've kept us isolated for over a century, classified us as dangerous, and now you want our help. I understand your skepticism, Zella replied. The quarantine was established out of fear. Your species evolved in conditions that would kill most galactic citizens instantly. Your natural adaptability and capacity for violence alarmed our ancestors. And now those qualities seem useful, observed General Okonkwo, his voice deep and measured. Yes, Zella admitted. The Void Harvesters have destroyed 8 worlds. Our defense fleet was decimated. Luminera will fall in 3 cycles, with 30 million citizens unable to evacuate in time. Admiral Chen exchanged glances with her colleagues. What exactly are you asking of Earth? Your military vessels, your soldiers, your tactical expertise in warfare, something the Confederation has little experience with. In return, we offer complete integration of Earth into the Galactic Confederation, with full access to our technological database. The human leaders were silent for a moment. Then, Admiral Chen did something unexpected. She smiled. Ambassador, had you come offering trade deals or cultural exchange, we might have spent months debating. But you're telling us there's a species out there destroying whole worlds, killing billions, and heading toward more targets. She stood. Humanity has spent centuries preparing for threats from beyond our system. We've built our fleet not knowing if we ever need it. Now we do. How soon can your ships be ready? Zella asked, surprised by the quick response. The first and third fleets can deploy within 18 hours, General Okonkwo replied. That's 60 warships, support vessels, and their complement of fighters. Will that be sufficient? Zella's tendrils trembled. The Confederation's entire defense fleet had numbered 30 ships. More than sufficient, General. As preparations began, Zella was escorted to observe the mobilization of Earth's military forces. The scale and efficiency shocked her. In a massive space dock orbiting Earth, thousands of humans worked tirelessly to prepare the fleet. Their movements were precise, their bodies seemingly immune to fatigue. You seem surprised, noted Captain Maya Rodriguez, Zella's assigned liaison. I am, Zella admitted. The speed of your response, the size of your fleet. The Confederation believed humans were still limited to your solar system. Captain Rodriguez smiled. We respected the quarantine borders, but that didn't stop us from building. Earth's history taught us to be prepared. Zella watched a group of technicians working without environmental suits in an area exposed to vacuum for short periods. How are they surviving without protection? Modified genetics, Rodriguez explained. Most military personnel have enhanced oxygen storage capacity and radiation resistance. We can function in vacuum for about 3 minutes before requiring oxygen. Zella's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. You've modified yourselves to be even more resilient. Of course, evolution got us started, but we improved the design. Rodriguez said this as if it were obvious. Those technicians also have magnetized skin implants to anchor themselves during zero-G operations. 16 hours later, Zella stood on the bridge of the UES Relentless, Earth's flagship commanded by Admiral Chen herself. The massive vessel dwarfed anything in the Confederation fleet. All ships report ready, Admiral, announced a young officer. Ambassador Zella, are the coordinates for Luminara set? Asked Chen. Yes, Admiral. My navigational data has been transferred to your systems. Chen nodded. Then let's not keep those harvesters waiting. All ships, initiate FTL jump on my mark. As 60 warships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, Zella felt both hope and apprehension. The humans moved with purpose and confidence, but there was something else she sensed: eagerness. These Deathworlders weren't just coming to help. They were coming to fight. And they seemed to relish the opportunity. Had the Confederation made the right choice, or had they invited an even greater danger into the galaxy? Deathworlders unleashed. The human fleet emerged from FTL travel at the edge of the Luminara system. Through the view screen, Zella could see the verdant world already partially darkened by the Void Harvester's assault. Massive black ships, organic in appearance with crystalline protrusions, surrounded the planet like parasites on a host. Counting 73 harvester vessels, reported Lieutenant Commander Sato from the tactical station. They've already breached Luminara's atmospheric shields and begun surface extraction. Admiral Chen studied the tactical display, her expression calculating rather than fearful. Can we establish communication with the surface? Limited, replied Communications Officer Park. I'm detecting fragmented distress signals from the northern continent. Put them through. The bridge speakers emitted static-filled screams and pleas for help in multiple Confederation languages. Zella's tendrils drooped in distress. 30 million people, Chen said quietly. Not today. She straightened and addressed the bridge crew. Battle formations. Frigates in defensive screen around the heavy cruisers. Launch all fighters but maintain close support range. Target the harvester vessels nearest the population centers first. What about communication attempts? Zella asked. We'll try once, Chen replied. Lieutenant Park, broadcast on all frequencies. Park nodded. Channel open. Admiral. Attention Void Harvester vessels. This is Admiral Helena Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. You are attacking a protected world. Withdraw immediately or face destruction. The response came not as words, but as a subsonic pulse that made the ship's systems flicker momentarily. Some kind of electromagnetic attack, Sato reported. No damage, but definitely hostile. Chen's expression hardened. So be it. All ships, weapons free. Fire at will. The human fleet surged forward, faster and more aggressively than any Confederation ships would have dared. The first salvos of energy weapons and kinetic projectiles slammed into the nearest harvester vessels, causing visible damage. They're responding, Sato warned as the harvester ships turned from the planet to face the new threat. The space around Luminara erupted into chaos. The harvesters' weapons, beams of corrosive energy that seemed to eat through matter, lashed out at the human ships. But the Earth vessels moved with surprising agility for their size, their point defense systems intercepting many attacks. Zella watched in awe as human tactics rapidly evolved. Within minutes, Admiral Chen's forces had identified weaknesses in the harvesters' defenses and exploited them ruthlessly. 3 harvester ships were already destroyed, their biological structures rupturing in silent explosions. They're adapting, Chen observed as subsequent attacks proved less effective. Lieutenant Commander Reed analysis. A young officer with auburn hair stepped forward. Their ships appear to be evolving real-time countermeasures against our weapons. Admiral, each time we destroy one, the others develop resistance. Like an immune system, Chen mused. Then we need to overwhelm it. All ships rotate weapons configurations on a randomized schedule. Don't let them predict our attack patterns. The battle continued with increasing ferocity. 7 human ships had been badly damaged, and the UES Intrepid was lost with all hands when 3 harvester vessels focused their corrosive beams simultaneously. But the human fleet had destroyed 17 harvester ships in return. Admiral, Saito called urgently, the remaining harvesters are accelerating their extraction process. Energy readings from the planet's surface are spiking. On the tactical display, Luminara's oceans were visibly shrinking as the harvesters intensify their consumption. They're going to strip the planet before we can stop them, Zella said despairingly. Admiral Chen's eyes narrowed. Not if we change the parameters. She tapped her communications panel. Captain Volkov, is your team ready? Da, Admiral, came a heavily accented reply. Strike team assembled and waiting your order. Execute Operation Trojan. Zella looked confused. What is Operation Trojan? Chen's answer was interrupted by a proximity alert. A damaged human frigate, the UES Daedalus, had broken formation and was accelerating directly toward the largest harvester vessel, the apparent command ship. What are they doing? Zella gasped. That's suicide. Watch, Chen replied calmly. The Daedalus, trailing debris and venting atmosphere, crashed directly into the command ship's crystalline superstructure. Instead of the expected explosion, the frigate appeared to be absorbed by the biological hull of the harvester. Direct hit, Saito reported. Daedalus is inside the command ship. The Daedalus was already critically damaged, Chen explained to Zella. We evacuated most of the crew but left volunteers on board, Captain Volkov and his strike team. You sent humans inside a harvester ship. Zella couldn't comprehend the strategy or the bravery it required. 60 Special Forces operators with environmental suits designed to withstand the most extreme conditions, Chen confirmed. If we can't destroy them from outside. 15 minutes passed with no apparent change. Then, the massive command ship began to shudder. Crystalline protrusions broke off and drifted into space. The organic hull began to discolor. We're receiving a transmission from inside the harvester, Park announced. Put it through, Chen ordered. Captain Volkov's voice came through, accompanied by the sounds of gunfire and inhuman screeching. Admiral, we've reached what appears to be a central nervous system. The ship is alive, as we suspected. We've planted nuclear devices throughout the biological components. Request permission to detonate. Radiation levels, Chen asked. Off the charts, Volkov replied. But our suits are holding. Mostly. He coughed, and Zella realized with horror that the humans were being exposed to radiation that would instantly kill any Confederation species. Can you extract? Chen asked. A pause. Negative. Admiral, the ship is sealing bulkheads. We won't make it out. Chen closed her eyes briefly. Understood, Captain. Commence detonation at your discretion. And, thank you. For Russia and Earth, Volkov replied simply. Moments later, the Harvester command ship erupted from within. The nuclear detonations created a chain reaction that tore through its biological structure. More surprisingly, the other Harvester vessels seemed to react in pain, their movements becoming erratic. They are connected, Zella realized. A hive mind, as we suspected. All ships, Chen commanded, concentrate fire on the disoriented vessels. Don't give them time to recover. The human fleet surged forward, unleashing their full arsenal against the confused harvesters. Ship after ship was destroyed as the unified command structure collapsed. Within 2 hours, the space around Luminara was filled with drifting debris, the remains of the once fearsome harvester fleet. Casualties, Chen asked quietly when the last harvester had been confirmed destroyed. 3 destroyers and 4 frigates lost, Saito reported solemnly. The Relentless, Thunderchild, and Excalibur have sustained heavy damage. Estimated personnel losses, 2,419. Zealous tendrils trembled. So many. Too many, Chen agreed. But we saved Luminara. Begin rescue operations immediately. I want medical teams on the surface within the hour. As the human fleet repositioned to assist the traumatized planet below, Zella observed the efficiency with which they transitioned from warfare to humanitarian aid. Medical ships that had stayed behind the main battle line now moved into position, deploying shuttles filled with supplies and personnel. You knew the cost, Zella said to Admiral Chen. You knew some of your people wouldn't return. We all did, Chen replied simply. Every person on this fleet volunteered knowing the risks. Captain Volkov and his team made their choice. The Confederation doesn't understand sacrifice like this, Zella admitted. Our society has been peaceful for so long, we've forgotten what it means to fight for survival. Chen looked at the view screen, now showing the damaged but saved world of Luminara. Perhaps that's why you needed us. Earth hasn't forgotten. We've lived on the knife's edge of survival since our beginning. It shaped us into what you call Deathworlders, but we call ourselves survivors. 3 days later, the High Council of the Galactic Confederation convened an emergency session. Ambassador Zella stood at the center, no longer alone. Beside her stood Admiral Chen, representing Earth. The threat is not over, Zella explained to the assembled representatives. The Void Harvesters we defeated at Luminara were merely an advance force. Our intelligence suggests more are coming, perhaps hundreds of ships. Murmurs of fear rippled through the chamber. But we now have allies who know how to fight, Zella continued. The humans of Earth have demonstrated not just technological prowess, but courage and tactical thinking the Confederation has not seen in centuries. I propose we formally end the quarantine of Earth and welcome them as full members of the Confederation. High Counselor Dren studied Admiral Chen thoughtfully. The humans have indeed proven their value. But their aggressive tendencies remain concerning. Chen stepped forward. Counselor, with respect, what you call aggression, we call determination. Yes, humanity has a history of conflict, but we've learned from it. We've harnessed that capacity for violence and directed it toward protection, not conquest. And if the Harvesters are defeated, asked a silicon-based representative, what then? Will humanity be content to return to peace? We've never wanted war, Chen replied, but we've always prepared for it. That's the difference between us. The Confederation chose to forget that the universe contains threats. Earth never had that luxury. After much debate, the Council voted. Earth was accepted into the Confederation with special status, protectors rather than protected. Knowledge and technology would be exchanged, cultural barriers lowered. As the session ended, Zella approached Admiral Chen. The galaxy will never be the same, she observed. Some fear what humanity's influence might bring. Chen smiled. Change is always frightening, but I think we'll surprise you in ways you don't expect. Humans aren't just good at fighting. We're also excellent at building, creating, exploring. Those are the things we'd rather be doing. Zella's skin brightened with hope. Perhaps the Deathworlders will teach us how to truly live after all. In the months that followed, as the Confederation prepared for the larger Harvester invasion, humanity integrated into galactic society with surprising speed. Human adaptability, once feared, became their greatest contribution. They established military academies, defense systems, and early warning networks throughout Confederation space. And when the main Harvester fleet arrived 6 months later, they found not a peaceful, vulnerable civilization, but a galaxy ready to fight for its survival, led by the warriors from a little blue death world called Earth.